And then on the drive home, he was telling me all of these fascinating stories, and I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Oh, wow.
Why? Why didn't you say this when you were on my table? And he went to Dubai the next day after his massage. So he needed a massage to be on a plane. He's like, that's a really good massage. I'm like, yeah, but let's talk.
I wanted the stories.
I need the stories. Let's make this interesting, please, sir.
So, can I tell you what's interesting about Fresno?
Yeah. Yes, please do.
So, I was in Paris a couple months ago, and there was a guy from Fresno. I'm like, is it any Americans here? And I always ask if there's someone from a different country.
Uh-huh.
Because I always have jokes and stories about almost everywhere. I'll get stumped every once in a while with a Azerbaijan or a Lithuania. But there was a dude in the audience from Fresno. And he goes, it's a shithole, I know, you can make fun of it. I said, no, actually, Fresno, there's a beautiful thing happening in Fresno right now. You should be proud. I read the story in the New York Times earlier this year about Fresno is where the predominant number of Syrian refugees to the United States have settled.
Yes.
And all of the churches from every different denomination in the Fresno area has all helped these people get cars, get jobs, find housing. It's really beautiful how the community of Fresno has all helped these people settle. And so these Syrian refugees sent messages out to other Syrian refugees who came to America, and they said, hey man, fuck Dothan, Alabama, or wherever they went, you know, Syracuse, New York, or wherever, you should come to Fresno. So a lot of people that came and were really struggling in other parts of America, there's a massive settlement of Syrian refugees in the Fresno area.
I knew some of that, but let's see. I went to Fresno State because they gave me money to go there, and I was like, okay, let's do that. But I'm from Madera, which is kind of like the racist hillbilly stepsister of Fresno, so it's like Fresno is going to town. In fact, when my kids go and visit my parents, and I call them, I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, we're going to town. I'm going to have to reprogram you when you come home. Okay. That's going to happen.
Hello to our Madera and Fresno listeners.
I don't know if anybody listens in Madera or Fresno.
Yeah, well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the point where my kids have a pean tree at my parents' house. They have a tree that
peeing tree?
Uh-huh.
What kind of tree?
A tree they can go outside and pee on.
Oh, a peeing tree.
A peeing tree.
Nice. It's always a nice treat to pee outside.
Oh, they love it. And then they come home and I'm like, okay, that's for Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, right there.
That is
there. Oh, yes.
Mommy's.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow.
You are locked up right here.
Yeah, I'm having some problems.
I can feel you've got this thing I've been working on too. Right by your scapula. That's just, it likes you because it doesn't want to leave. This is your naughty friend.
So growing up in Florida, did you always want to travel?
Yeah.
You wanted to find a way to be able to do that growing up?
Well, I wanted to be a comedian since I was 12. Or 11, actually. My family's originally from Washington, D.C. And my father loved stand-up comedy, specifically Richard Pryor. My dad had tons of Pryor records, and also Bob Newhart. My dad loved Bob Newhart, but Pryor was his king. I remember being a little kid driving around with my dad listening to Pryor tapes in the car. So just stand-up was very revered in my family. And my father was a Vietnam veteran. Also, he flew helicopters in the war. was shot down, survived. He had a real dark sense of humor, which has always served me well.
Yes.
And then my uncle did open mic night comedy for 1 year, 1978. I was 11. My dad took me to see him. Who takes an 11-year-old kid to a bar?
I have.
My father.
Well, my kids are younger, but I put headphones on them and told them to sit in the corner because my husband works for the Navy and he goes out to sea, and it was right when I was like deciding to do comedy, and I'd get these weird little, hey Joey, we'll give you 3 minutes, and I'm like, okay, but I have to bring my kid, so I have to leave as soon as it's over, and I throw headphones on him, go up and do my set, and then take off. So
We should let them hear what's going on.
I mean, they talk to him. They're like, "Hey," and then of course, my youngest is very attention whorish. So as soon as they start talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, that's your big knot."
So my dad took me to this comedy open mic night in Washington, D.C., this club called El Brookman's. I think Louis Black started there, a lot of people. And the entrance was by the stage, and I was wearing a Washington Redskins jacket. And the comedian on stage pulled me on stage, and he interviewed me like I was the coach of the Redskins. And I was 11 and bashful. Gave one-word answers, yes and no. But I'll never forget standing on that stage and seeing all those happy people with their heads thrown back in laughter and all the teeth in their mouth. There was black people, and there was Latino people and white people, and it just seemed like this magical place where everybody was happy. All the flavors of humanity were getting along for the common purpose of laughter.
Right.
So I sat at the bar and sipped Cokes for the rest of the night, watched these comedians, and then I was obsessed with it. It became the only thing I was interested in. And it was, a great time. Saturday Night Live was beginning, so I'd stay up late and watch SNL. It was early years. Watched Carson. I would always watch the comedians. They'd be on those daytime shows like Merv Griffin and Mike Douglas and shit. I'd look at the TV guide and circle whenever they'd have a comedian on. And I became a student of comedy. And I remember when I was like 15, Rodney Dangerfield was my hero. And I memorized all of Rodney's jokes. Listened to his albums over and over. And Eddie Murphy Delirious. And I started doing stuff in high school. I hosted the pep rallies and the talent shows. And then when I was 17, I took a fake ID. There was a local comedy club in Orlando called The Funny Fun. And I went there and did their open mic night. And it was like it was just a Friday, Saturday club. And it was kind of cool. They had rehearsals on Mondays. So that became my thing. Instead of going to dances and football games, I was going to the comedy club every weekend.
Right.
And it was just local comedians in the first year. And on Mondays they would have rehearsals, and people would bring sketch ideas because nobody knew what they were doing. So it was kind of cool that it would, on the weekend shows, it would be a comedian, a sketch, a comedian, sketch, comedian, sketch. So not only would you get to do a set, you'd get to act in a sketch. And that was pretty cool.
Right.
Very cool.
And then they started bringing in traveling comedians. And I started doing my senior year in high school, I started doing one-nighters around Florida. I started working with Brian Regan.
Aw.
He's one of my oldest, best friends in comedy. We were doing like tough biker bars in Daytona Beach with him. He was still squeaky clean and hilarious.
That's why the Mormons love him.
And what did you say? Mormons love him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went right on the road right after I graduated high school. Like 2 weeks later, I was booked in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to MC for $150.
Good for you, though. Like, you don't hear those stories anymore. I don't think. And I love the fact that you, like, studied it. I feel like a lot of that has gone off the wayside now. Or
Yeah, I've got some spiral notebooks over there from when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
There was a joke in there. Remember in the late 80s, mid 80s, Africa was starving, they had Live Aid and all those concerts to,
to raise
help
money.
the famine relief. And Paisley was very popular in men's fashions. So this is a joke from my 17-year-old spiral notebook. I donated some clothes to charity. And the man at the charity shop said that these clothes were going to be sent to Africa. Oh, I can see somebody in Africa wearing my clothes going, gee, I hope this Paisley vest doesn't clash with my genitals.
It's fun looking. I don't know. Is it fun looking back, or is it sometimes just horrific looking back?
Oh yeah, well it depends. I mean, you look
Yeah.
at my comedy notebooks at different periods. There's pages and pages of heartbreak and crying over some girl, or depends what period of my life.
Right, because
Years of drug addiction, booze, where the handwriting is a little harder to read.
Because I go back and I've written my whole life. Like, I write all the time, and I'm a romantic too, because I have like 6 romance books out, because I'm that girl that everybody has to have the happy ending, and I'm gonna write it so everybody's happy in the end. Because if it happens in books, it can happen in real life. And I'll go back and read some of the stuff I wrote, and I'm like, oh no, what were you doing?
You know, that's the funny thing, like, hey Emily, behind that,
Yep.
behind that chair
Yes.
is a thing. Can you plug in that? The lights will all come on.
Okay. Oh, I
You see that white thing?
Yes, I do.
That's the thing. Like, I remember years ago when I was on the road and I was a young dog man partier. You forget your comedy notebook somewhere on a bar or somewhere. Somebody contacts you. Hey, I found your notebook. And you go to get it back, and you can tell by the look on their face that they read your shit. They were disturbed by some of it.
Well, just like I've had, people who are like, okay, Joy, I read your books, which I don't like hearing, but and they're like, oh, I love blah, 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 and I'll either forget I wrote that scene. I mean, because my first book I published 4.5 years ago.
Published a book, cool.
I did, they're self-published, so it doesn't count. But, and they're like, have you reread them? And I haven't. I haven't went back and reread my books, because I don't know. I don't want to. I read the reviews, and I memorize the 1 stars, but.
Because you gotta hold on to the negative.
Yeah. I can give you the 1 stars verbatim. The 5 stars, I don't know. But.
Do you enjoy when people quote back your jokes to you?
I think that's the one of the greatest joys in life for me. When people will remind me of a joke of mine that I've long forgotten.
Hmm.
You go, oh man. Like when you do a joke or the way you say something, I've gotten emails from people. They're like, man, me and my girlfriend for forever we've been. Well, they'll use your joke in their like kind of everyday vocabulary.
Yeah. You become their vernacular.
You become their vernacular, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But when people like will quote a joke back to me that they loved, that a joke that I was doing 20 years ago, that they saw on Comedy Central or something 10 years ago or whatever, I think that's the greatest joy in the world.
No, it is fun.
Good, because I would like to say that I have, that joke that you have right now where at the end is, like, I wrote that joke with hate in my heart.
I assure you, I wrote the joke with hatred in my heart.
Yeah. I say that at the Comedy Store in the kitchen probably 3 times a day.
There's a really great friend of mine in San Francisco, and it's a joke that it's something that I was doing. I forget what. See, like that's a throwaway line like after the actual joke.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I guess it's part of it because it's the story where the woman got upset at a Trump joke that I did and she walked out. But there's this thing that I used to say years ago. I forget, but I would say it. I forget after what kind of joke, but I would say, "There's love in my hate." And so my friend, like, she still says that all the time. And when we're together, she'll always mention, "There's love in my hate."
Oh.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah, because it also gets to bring you back to a good time. Like, you're like, I remember that. And
Well, just to know that you like touch somebody, like it's
Yeah.
great. So now the next time I do that line, I'll think of you, Emily.
Oh.
And it's just great when something you created touches somebody enough that they not only remembered it, they found it amusing enough to amuse themselves with it later, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you see all the books here.
Yes.
I'm a big reader, and I love music, see all my vinyl records on the other side of the room. It's like, it's all about creation, it's all about the story. The best art, books and movies and jokes are usually stories. And, there's certain lines that I've read in books or lines from songs that really touched you deep in your heart.
Yes.
And it's almost like they belong to you.
Yes.
And they give you warmth and comfort in your life. And then it's such a personal thing. And like, you can see I got like tons of Henry Miller books and Charles Bukowski, but also I love nonfiction mostly. And I like history and real life shit. I don't like too much fiction. I don't like made up shit. I like real shit.
Yeah.
But you carry this. It's just art that means something to you, and that's what I think.
Flip over for me when you're ready.
Yeah.
I prize comedy above all the other arts because I dedicated my life to it. And, there's jokes by comedians I love that have the same effect on me that I think about.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be in your life.
Get down a little bit more.
Oh.
No, I love the jokes. They stick in your head. And I think the biggest compliment is when somebody's like, I think about your joke like once a month or every week or something like that. There's something about it that it keeps popping up in their life. Like you were saying, like you become someone's vernacular, or other comedians saying, "Oh, this joke it's the happiest."
Yeah, or then if it's
The
another
happiest place.
comedian.
Yeah. Oh.
Joey Diaz called me a month or two ago, and I've known Joey for years. I love the guy, and he really surprised me. I just want you to know I watched your set last night at the Comedy Store, and brother, goddamn, you're such a master. The way you do your phrasing and the joke structure, and he just called me to compliment me, and it was like one of the highlights of my decade.
Right.
So like when a regular person says, "Hey man, I've been quoting your joke for years," is a really great feeling. But then when it's your comedy brothers or sisters, then it elevates the compliment to euphoria.
That's
Yeah.
funny. We were just talking about that yesterday, where when we make you guys laugh, we get extra
We
excited.
get so giddy.
Because we're like,
Oh my
okay,
God.
we're on the right path. Like, we've
Yeah.
got this.
If we make a paid regular laugh,
Yes.
or even giggle, or like, that's a good joke, you do that on stage, we're just like, oh my god, it's the best day ever.
That's great. I love the Comedy Store, and all the people working there are awesome. I forget the guy's name. He's one of the doormen, and it was like about 6 months ago or something. He said, I want to ask you. He said, I love the way you move on stage, and I figured it out. Are you doing like a figure 8 up there on stage, the way you move?
Is this Isaac? It sounds like
And,
Isaac.
I said, no. I love moving around on stage. I never stand perfectly still. And one of the greatest pieces of advice is when I was younger, a comedian told me, shit in all 4 corners. Make the whole stage your own. So I'll try and touch my feet on every part of the stage while I'm on. And not always, but if I'm moving and feeling it and it's working, and this guy thought I had a pattern, and I told him there's no pattern.
Yeah.
And a few people told me I move like a boxer on stage.
Yes.
So I'm up, back, over, circles. It's not something I'm thinking about or planning. It's just like how I'm feeling it.
Right. I love park and barking. That's my favorite.
What is it?
Like you park yourself on stage and then you just bark at people. Because before I did comedy, I did musical theater a lot, and that has choreography. But most of the parts that I had for singing, it was a big song, and they would just get you to stand and sing the song. So that's what I got used to doing.
Nice.
And it just kind of transferred
you
into
tell
comedy.
Jokes like this.
Kind of. Ma.
Look at me.
Yell it to the back of the stage. No, but I love watching really physical comics because I'm not. And it's just so inspiring to watch you guys.
Just relax, I got you.
Oh, more necks and shoulders, please.
You've got it.
Oh my God. So you don't think I need an MRI?
I don't want to say
But it doesn't seem to be going away, this problem.
right.
I'll put some Tiger Balm on it. It'll give me a little bit of relief, but oh Jesus.
You know what?
I think it's a serious problem.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean it's constantly. That's why when you said you wanted to do this, I was like, please, how soon can you come over? Yeah, right there. Gee, that's the spot.
Yeah. I mean, you know your own body, so obviously you're gonna know if something's wrong.
Right there. That's oh shit.
I feel more.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I feel more muscular.
What's your professional opinion?
My professional opinion is it's just really muscular, and ice will help because it is inflamed. Ice is your best friend.
But it's been like that for over 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Ice it?
Uh-huh.
So the tiger balm is maybe the opposite of what I should be doing?
Well, okay, so ice is what's going to heal you.
Okay.
Ice is what you want to do when you are done with the day and you don't need to move anymore and you are able to give your body the energy to heal. Heat is when you need to freaking be able to move and you need to be able to be comfortable and not in pain. So heat in the morning right before you go out, heat like if you're going to go somewhere and you need your muscles to be nice and relaxed, but ice is what heals you.
Okay. I'll start giving that a shot.
But I mean, everything I'm feeling, I don't feel any.
Feel that pop thing?
Uh-huh.
What was that?
That's all muscle.
Really?
It's all muscle, it's all ligament, it's all tendon. I don't feel any bone. I don't think anything's wrong with the bone. So MRI is just going to show you
If
bone.
something's out of line.
Oh, good.
It'll show you like if you have a disc degeneration with, you know, the pads in between each vertebrae. But yeah, I don't like an MRI is just going to tell you
Oh,
about
right.
bone.
Oh shit! More of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, the thumb on the. Oh yeah. Thumb on the neck. Thumb on the neck.
So
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Can we linger there for a minute?
sure we can.
Oh Jesus. Oh joy. Oh joy.
Oh joy. At least you don't moan. I have
Oh joy.
a firefighter captain,
Any modes?
and he moans my name.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that sound like?
Oh joy. Oh joy. And my doctor will sit in his office, and because our walls are so thin, and you can hear him just dying laughing. And I like by the time I leave, I am bright red. I'm so embarrassed.
Hilarious. I think that guy should be investigated.
Yeah.
She's got a couple.
Yeah.
Somebody should look at his hard drive.
He also
Friday afternoon, she's a very bad girl and gets her
Yeah.
ass grabbed.
Oh, that's
Friday
it.
afternoon every
Oh,
I
joy.
can't say that
Oh
time.
joy, right there.
But yeah.
Oh shit, that's it. Oh my lord.
But he also like he
Oh
was like
motherfucker, you don't think that's like a, is that like a tendon problem or something?
it could be. Okay,
Like,
because you have
what can I do other than ice?
you have your paraspinals, right? So you have all these muscles that go all the way up your spine, and they connect here on your occipital ridge, which is right here, your occipital bone on your skull. And so a lot of those are tendons, a lot of those are ligaments because it's connecting so much between your shoulder girdle and your neck.
I have a girdle.
You do. You have two girdles. You have a pelvic girdle as well.
I told you I was girly.
Yeah. You
Don't
would've
tell
been
your
my